back with another vlog with Chris. So I'm at Starbucks right now and I decided to make another video for you guys. I'm literally the best YouTuber ever. Yo, like one day I'm gonna blow up and I'm gonna be looking back at these and be like, oh, look at my old videos. Yeah, one day. So yeah, today's video is gonna be a Q&A because I posted on my Instagram that if you guys had any questions to ask me, and you guys did ask me questions, so I'm gonna answer them today. But just a little briefing. My name's Chris. I do the vlogs on my channel, and I'm currently working / volunteering in Malang, East Java, Indonesia. And what I do here, I do community service. I work with Indonesian university students, and we go out to different places, different schools, different organizations, helping kids with disabilities, blind kids, teaching English. We have garage sales, and with the profits we buy different materials that schools and children need that can't afford it. So it's actually a really great organization. So I wanted to make this video because I realized that a lot of people that follow me on social media actually don't really realize like what I do and all these places I go to. Like I'm not on vacation, I'm not traveling with my parents, I'm all alone when I go places, and I sign up through websites that I hope are good, and I just show up to these volunteering things in different countries and I just start working. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into it and start answering these questions. I have them all written down right here. They're all from Instagram, like you guys asked. How do you find out about all these working opportunities abroad? And my answer to this is websites. Like I literally just Google internships abroad, internships in ... Like I wanted to do an internship in Hong Kong, so I just Google like unpaid internships in Hong Kong, and I get a list. Same thing with Indonesia. I just Google like volunteering opportunities or teaching opportunities in the country I want to go to. And I've never been paid for anything I do. I usually pay to do this. But yeah, that's how I do it. And like as you know, I was an exchange student in Thailand last year. So the organization I went through was called AFS. And so AFS, I already knew when I was in Thailand that I wanted to take a gap year. So I was on the AFS website and I saw that AFS had a 18 plus side to it for gap, just a whole website for gap years. And they were crazy cheap, like $1,000 for a year in Indonesia. And they seemed amazing, like teach at a high school in India or help the community in Indonesia for a certain length of time. And I thought, like, to me that sounds amazing. Like I knew I wanted to get like worldly experience. I don't even remember what question I just asked. I just answered. Oh, how did I find out? Yeah, so the answer to this question is just Google. So it's easy. Does it take lots of planning to decide what you want to do? Does it take lots of planning? I guess that means like taking a gap year, maybe, or so yeah, like I'll just answer, does it take lots of planning to take a gap year? And I would say yes and no. Depends on the gap year. So for example, my gap year started in September when one of my best friends, Joel, and I backpacked through Europe. And for that, it didn't take too much planning. We met up at Starbucks maybe 3-4 times, just planning basic things like where we wanted to visit and where we were going to stay, attractions we wanted to see. But like that was backpacking. So backpacking is supposed to be very random and, you know, like exciting. You're a traveler, so you're not really supposed to plan too much into that. And we didn't, and it was an amazing time, like literally one of the best experiences I've had. And so, but then on the other side of things, if you want to go through a company like I am in Indonesia, you want to work abroad, you want to volunteer abroad through an organization, that takes some months, some weeks to do. For example, I started the process to work / volunteer abroad last year. So it took almost 1 year of planning for me to actually land in Indonesia and start volunteering here. And maybe I'll explain like what that includes. So like that includes finding you a place to stay. I always stay with host families in the countries. That includes finding where even like what country you want to go to is like a big decision. And but the hardest part, which I freaking hate, is visas.
Visas are, if you don't know what a visa is like a stamp in your passport that says you're allowed to enter the country and you're allowed to do blank and blank in the country.
And that it requires you filling out paperwork, you sending documents to the consulate. I always go through the New York City consulates because they're the closest. So yeah, that process takes quite a few months to have your visa in your hand. And the organization that I go through says they can't do anything. You can't even sign up that you want to go until you have a visa in hand saying you're allowed to go to that country. So that's always the hardest step. And if you're friends with me, you know that I've been trying to go to India for so long and I can't get this stupid visa. So maybe one of these days, like I'll get accepted for an Indian visa, but not today, sadly. Okay, the next question is going to be, what is the most inspirational moment I've had in my gap year? Those little moments that just make you look at life differently, that make you look at the world as like a whole instead of like country is like the whole reason I love traveling. On Fridays and where I work is like a community lunch, like we all chip in, we all give a little bit of money, we all cook together to make a community lunch for everyone that volunteers. And while we were doing that, my friend Fafa, who is, her dream is to be an Islamic, oh, I just popped a pimple, an Islamic studies major. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it's called, but she wants to study Islam. And she was just asking me like, why do you want to come to Indonesia, and why do you like travel so much, and why do you want to? I told her that I like my purpose right now at that time was I really wanted to learn as much about Islam and Hindu and Buddhism as I can while I'm in Asia. How different people in different countries like think about life and what their purpose is in life and what makes them happy, and it's so different in each country. And so I can look at a situation and sometimes I look at it as an American, and then other times it switches and I start to think about something in the viewpoint of a Thai person or an Indonesian person, and it's really amazing, and that's what I love learning, like adapting to the different cultures. Yeah, so I forget again what I was answering. Okay, so I was rewatching the video that I'm editing it now on iMovie, and I was rewatching it and I forgot that to answer the question. That the most inspirational moment, I was telling Fafa all this, and she said, Chris, people their entire life to realize what you just said, and usually in Indonesia when people talk like this, they're on their way to becoming enlightened, and enlightenment is the purpose in everyone's life. And she said all this to me. I was like, oh my god, I feel so honored to a person that studies religions. And the next question is, how much does it cost? So that's the big question I get every second of the day. People always slide up on my stories and they say, oh my god, I wish I could do that too, Chris. I'm like, oh my god, you should do it, it's amazing, it's a life-changing experience. And they say, oh, but I don't think I can afford it. It's so much money, Chris. And I'm like, yeah, it can be a lot of money. It all depends on how you travel. For example, I don't stay in hotels. I don't go do I don't go jet skiing and beach, I don't freaking know. I'm at Starbucks right now. That's what I do in my spare time. But yeah, okay, how much does it cost? So the answer to this question is, for me, I paid $2,000 to live in East Java, Indonesia for 3 months, and then I also paid $2,000 to live in Bali for 3 months. So that gives us a total of $4,000 for 6 months of living. And by that I mean it includes my transportation, it includes my living, it includes my meals, because I live with a host family, and my host family provides me with breakfast and dinner, and where I work, they provide me with lunch, so I'm never really paying for food too often. And of course I don't stay in a hotel, I live with an Indonesian family, and I'm so grateful that they would welcome me into their home. It's such a nice thing. And so yeah, so the answer to this question is I paid $4,000 to live in Indonesia for 6 months. And my backpacking experience, I backpacked Europe for 1 month, and I didn't really have a budget of how much that was going to cost, but at the end of it, I paid everything, buying souvenirs, food, hostels. I paid maybe $1,200. But we did a lot. We went to maybe 9-10 different countries, always eating out. I was eating octopus, drinking wine all the time. We weren't holding back anything. And after 1 month of living that life, it was only $1,200, so I think it's pretty cheap.
And now maybe you're thinking Chris, how do you afford that? Do you work? And I'm like, yeah, I do work.
I am a chambermaid at my mom's motel in Wildwood Crest, New Jersey. And my money goes just to traveling. And what is the most favorite place that I've been to? So, the most favorite place, I already have it written down here because I knew after 30 seconds, is Athens, Greece. I just love Greece, dude. The islands are so different. Each island has a different culture, different cuisine. And Athens, the capital of Greece, streets are just so chaotic. It reminds me of New York City. And then you can go 5-minute walk and you're at the beach and it's you're in Hawaii. It's I don't know, I just love it. And the food and the people are so welcoming. And I love the Greek culture. It's I don't know, man. And my grandma's Greek. Maybe that's why I love it. Okay, so the last question, which I get by literally half of my Instagram followers, is when am I coming back to Thailand? So, yeah. So just let me explain my agenda for my gap year. So I came to Indonesia December 3rd, and I'll be in Indonesia until May 1st, so that's 5 months. And my goal was to travel the month of May. So my program ends May 1st, and I wanted to travel for 1 month around Asia, maybe do some backpacking, and I wanted to be home June 1st or beginning of June sometime. I don't have a flight booked back home yet. I really want to go to India. It's literally 2 countries away, so I might as well try again. So in May, I'm gonna try to apply for the Indian visa one more time. And this time's going to be a little bit different because I'm not applying to do working there or volunteering. It's just going to be strictly tourism. So I'm going to apply for a tourist visa, and maybe I'll get it. If I get it, then I'm going to India for 1 month, and then I'm going home. If I don't get my Indian visa, my plan is to maybe go to maybe 2 weeks in Thailand. I want to visit my friends, my host mom from Thailand, my host family, and all my friends from school that I miss you. I miss you guys so much. Maybe I'm coming in May, so wait for me. And yeah, so I'm gonna do 2 weeks in Thailand, and then maybe 2 weeks in either Vietnam or Sri Lanka. I'm not sure. I heard super great things about Sri Lanka. And it's right next to India, so maybe that's my compromise. Maybe I'm just not meant to go to India, I don't know. But I can go to Sri Lanka, and I think the culture is pretty similar. So the answer is when I'm coming back to Thailand, maybe in May. So wait for me. Everything is a learning experience. My goal in life is just to learn as much as I can about everything in the world and learn as much as I can about myself, because I still don't know. People don't realize you're every day you learn more about yourself, and the more you know about yourself, you can live a happier life. Things that make me happy, and I'm just a very peaceful person. If you know me, I never get angry. I'm always laughing and joking and experience everything life has to offer. Yeah, so that's my great way to end this vlog. See you next time.